Alright, so good afternoon everyone. We're at 26 now. So I think yung iba, they can just join later. Question, maulan ba sa inyo ngayon? Maulan sa Nueva Ecija ngayon?
Opo. Opo.
Ay, di sama-sama tayong nauulanan. Maulan din sa Manila. Anyway, good afternoon everyone. Before we start, meron akong gustong gawin, just a few housekeeping sa class natin. Wait, let me just admit the other ones. Check natin yung class list natin. Okay? I'll share the screen, but I'll pause the recording for a while kasi hindi natin kailangan to. And if you're ready to start, let's start. Thumbs up if you can see my screen. Yes? Yes, okay, all right. So, question mga kaibigan. Anong naaalala niyong last topic niyo sa History 1? Anyone? HOA 1. Last topic sa HOA 1. Sige, let's call on someone na lang dahil ayaw nilang sumagot. Cute niyo, guys. Uy, may nag-raise hand. John Irvin, good afternoon. Sir.
Good afternoon po, ma'am. Yung natatandaan ko po yung sa lesson namin nung HOA 1 po is yung Byzantine architecture, yung mga Gothic po ba yun?
Uy, hindi malayo si Byzantine kay Gothic architecture. Pero since sinabi mo si Byzantine, dadaanan natin siya ulit as a review today. Kasi, bakit? Connected siya sa topic natin. For us to be able to understand yung church architecture, kailangan natin maintindihan saan ba nanggaling yung konsepto ng simbahan. Di ba nung nag-aral tayo ng HOA 1 back in Greek and Roman and then Egyptians, puro temples. Wala siyang church. Irvin, naka-raise hand ka pa. Do you want to say something else? Or wala na? Okay, baka naputo lang yung connection ni Irvin. I lower your hand na lang muna for a while. Anyway, meron pa ba kayong naaalala sa HOA 1 nyo? HOA 1. Meron? Ay, ang daming Dexter. Parang yung 2 plus ko din Dexter din. Meron akong tig-isang Dexter. At dahil dyan, good afternoon Dexter. May naaalala ka pa ba sa HOA 1?
Ma'am?
May naaalala ka pa ba sa HOA 1?
Ma'am, ano po, medyo po, may naalala po konti.
Share mo naman sa class. Tignan natin kung tama yung naaalala natin. Ano yung naaalala mo from your HOA 1 na yung medyo last topic naman?
Ma'am, yung ano po dun puro plates po yung pinagagawa po sa amin.
Oo, hindi tayo gagawa ng plate sa history natin ngayon. Kailangan
wala pong masyado pong discussions.
Huwag ka na magdamdam. Sige na, Dexter. Ngayon, magdi-discuss lang tayo. Wala kayong gagawing plate. Huwag ka mag-alala. Anyway, hindi na natin dadagdagan. Ayaw nyo nang mag-recall. So, since wala na tayong maalala, let's move on. Oh, Irvin, meron ka na namang sasabihin. Good afternoon, sir. Yes, sir.
Natandaan ko na po. Yung Greek architecture and Roman architecture po.
Yan ay bandang una. Bandang una. Yan eh. Yung HOA 1 natin.
Early Christian, ma'am.
Sige, kasama din yan today. Yung HOA 1 natin, remember, it's prehistoric. Thank you, Irvin. It's prehistoric, it's Egyptian, Roman and Greek, early Christian, and Byzantine. Minsan baka sinamahan pa kayo ng Aegean, Assyrian, something. Yung mga Eastern Asiatic, Western Asiatic, yung mga Middle East architecture. Sige, anyway, so going back, meron tayong mga guide questions today. Ito yung mga gusto nating sagutin at the end of our discussion. Number 1, what is meant by early Christian? Number 2, why is it called Byzantine architecture? Number 3, identify the differences between the two. Alright, sige. Huwag na natin pansinin tong overview dahil sobra yan. Early Christian architecture. Does anyone have any idea kung bakit early Christian yung tawag natin sa kanya? May idea kayo? May idea? Wala. Sabihin nyo na lang kung wala. Ako na lang ulit. Feeling ko hindi nyo alam. So, hindi nyo pa alam. Dapat laging ganun yung approach natin. Hindi sa hindi natin alam, it's just that hindi pa natin alam. Alright, so tinatawag natin siyang early Christian architecture kasi ito yung mga unang araw ng Christianity. Early days ng Christianity. So, siguro nag-spread pa lang sila at this time, hindi pa siya ganun kakilala kasi yung Christianity or Christianism or kung ano man gusto nating itawag sa religion natin, hindi siya yung part of the oldest religions in the world. Yung tatlong oldest religions natin will be, number 1 is Hinduism, second is Buddhism, and third is Jainism. Wala si Christianity. Kailan lang ba si Christianity? Nung dumating lang si Jesus Christ. Anyway, so dito siya, sa map, dyan siya sa map, banda sa room pa din siya. So, yung church architecture natin actually, this is about Christian churches, hindi anumang church ng ibang religion, church siya ng Christianity. Kaya natin siya i-discuss kasi napakalaki ng impact ng Christianity sa architecture. Kung hindi nasabi sa inyo ng mga prof nyo noon, ang pinakamalaking ambag ng religion, lalo na ng Christianity, sa buong mundo, is art and architecture. Diba? Yung mga mural sa Sistine Chapel, diba? Pag tumingala ka, may mga mural, ang hirap kaya gawin nun. Isipin nyo, ang hirap na nga magpintura sa kisame kasi nakatingala ka. As in yung paint lang mas mahirap gumawa ng mural doon. So, yun yung pinakamalaking ambag ng religion to us, to the whole world, art and architecture. Sige. Okay. Early Christian period, it's from 200 AD to 1025 AD. Another piece or nugget of wisdom lang, yung BC, before, para i-define yung time or year, BC used to be defined as before Christ. Ngayon, maraming ibang religion medyo umalma. O, anong before Christ? Eh, hindi naman si Christ yung Diyos namin, sabi nila. So, ginawa natin siyang BCE or before the common era. Ngayon, si AD, feeling ko alam ng iba is after death siya, but the meaning actually is Anno Domini, which means in the year of our Lord. So when we say 2022 AD, we're literally saying 2022 or 2022 Anno Domini or 2022 or 2022 in the year of our Lord. Hindi siya kasama sa exam, hindi siya lalabas sa board exam, pero it's good that you know. Alright, sige. Ito yung summary natin. Summary ng pag-uusapan natin. Okay, the practice of Christianity was illegal. Kung hindi nyo alam, hindi allowed mag-practice ng Christianity. Maraming ibang religion. May Greek gods, may Roman gods, may Egyptian gods, ang dami. Majority of the world were pagan, were practicing paganism. Tapos, at the same time, tago yung practice ng Christianity. Takot sila kasi hindi naman Christian yung emperor doon. So, yung mga Christians, they were persecuted for their faith. Hinahanap sila, kinukulong sila, napatay. Di natin sure, pero maraming pinatay. In fact, sa atin nga, okay, someone wants to enter. Wait lang. In fact, sa atin nga, di ba, naging santo si Saint Lorenzo Ruiz dahil sa kanyang martyrdom or namatay siya because of his faith. Di ba? Anyway, another bullet point natin is early Roman churches were usually built on burial places of saints or over catacombs. Third, basilica. Basilica, if anyone remembers, does anyone remember what a basilica is from your Roman architecture in your HOA1? Baka naaalala nyo lang. Let's share naman sa class. Hindi nyo na naaalala yung basilica. Anong definition natin sa basilica? Sige, dahil hindi kayo nagtataas ng kamay, hanap tayo ng naka-off cam at tatawagin natin yung naka-off cam. Krista Shane, good afternoon. O pag sinasabi kong naka-off cam, bigla kayo nagsisipag, naayos kayo Krista Shane, good afternoon. Krista, are you here? Kasama ka pa ba namin? Wala. Kaya ayokong naka-off cam kayo kasi nawawala kayo bigla. Stephanie, good afternoon. Kahit naka-on cam ka, good afternoon. Naaalala mo ba yung definition natin ng basilica during the Roman era?
Hindi na po gano'n mo, pero yung po, parang nag-ano lang po sa akin na yun po yung mga meeting places po natin. Like mga pinagpupulungan po ng mga sinunugan.
Yes, sinulat ko actually sa definition, nasa presentation. Si Basilica ay isang civic building. What do we mean when we say civic building? So, designed siya for public. Hindi siya, technically hindi nila inisip na gagawin itong place of worship. 'Di ba? So, design talaga siya para maging civic building. So, it's a place for meeting. Dito nagmi-meet yung mga scholars before, usap sila. Bakit kaya bilog yung mundo? O bilog ba talaga yung mundo? Baka flat, di ba? Doon nangyari yon sa Basilicas. Okay? So dito rin yung mga small disputes nila or small arbitration cases nila bago umabot ng korte. Alright? So yung Basilica importante siya later on kasi in-adapt natin siya para siya yung maging simbahan or maging technically place of worship, hindi pa simbahan. Take note, ang orientation natin noon. Yes, Irvin, what do you want to say?
Ma'am, question lang po. Yung basilica po ba is burial ng mga saints po?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily Kasi si Basilica ay ginawa siya in the Roman era para maging meeting place. So at the onset or at the yung buong duration ng early Christian period, yung mga basilica na convert siya into places of worship. Ngayon, later, sa parts ng basilica, makikita natin may mga mausoleum minsan. May mga mausoleum na external structure, nasa labas ng building. Yung mausoleo, doon nakalibing usually yung mga saints or minsan, tinatabi natin yung pagtayo ng basilica or above it kung saan nakalibing yung mga saint. Hindi necessarily nalibingan siya. Pwede rin hindi santo yung nakalibing, pwede rin ibang tao or ibang importanteng tao. Pero the fact is, yung mga backyards noon, yung mga likod ng bakanting lote ng mga basilica, ng early Christian period is sementeryo talaga. Hindi man mausoleo, may sementeryo. So, ayun. Did I answer your question, Irvin?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Alright, sige. Let's take note During the early Christian period, the orientation is yung facade natin nakaharap sa east. Yung facade, yung pasukan. Ibig sabihin yung likod, yung upuan. Yung likod ng mga upuan nakaharap sa east. Mamaya makikita natin kung bakit siya importante. Alright? Sige, any questions so far? Wala naman. So let's move on. Alright, so house churches. Ito nga yung sinasabi ko kanina. Dahil nga pinipersecute yung mga tao dahil sa practice nila ng Christianity or ng kanilang faith, they had to meet in secret. Hindi nila pwedeng gawin publicly. So saan yung private place? Sa loob ng bahay nila. Minsan sa basement, minsan sa attic, kung saan sa part ng bahay na hindi sila makikita. Alright? So yan, dyan siya nagsimula. Sa mga bahay-bahay lang talaga sila. Pero remember yung Christianity, wala talagang si Christ mismo, walang simbahan. Although there were synagogues before, the Jewish religion, mga Jew, may mga places of worship sila. Si Christ himself, he never had a building. Diba? Naglalakad lang siya. Minsan wala pa siyang tsinelas. Tapos nagtuturo kung saan-saan, sa ilalim ng puno, sa taas ng bato, sa tuktok ng bundok, sa paa ng bundok, kung saan siya abutan. So, at that time, they weren't really looking for a place to worship Siguro nung early onset. Pero eventually, ganun yung naging goal. Paano tayo mag-gather ng mas maraming tao? So, ito na nga. At this time, at this period, nung medyo umpisa, is they believe that the church is the people or the church were the people. Yung tao, yung simbahan. It doesn't have to be anywhere specific. We just have to worship all together. Diba? I think ganun pa rin yung belief ng mga progressive Christians ngayon. Yung mga medyo Protestant-ish na site. Anyway, moving forward, ito yung basilica. It's a large rectangular meeting hall with nave and aisles. Mamaya malaman natin yung nave, malaman natin yung aisle. Sige. Roman basilicas have a huge vaulted building with high roof braced on either side by a series of lower chamber. Meron siyang technically vaulted building, pero usually gabled roof siya, dos aguas siya. Wala ka makikitang 4 aguas na basilica, lagi siyang dalawa lang. One of its distinct features of a Roman basilica or of a basilica is its projecting exedra or apse. Mamaya malalaman natin kung ano yung apse. May questions ba so far? Wala. Alright, good. So ina-assume natin na iintindihan natin. Kung dinownload nyo, binasa nyo, iniscan nyo yung sinend kong libro, ito yun. Ito mismo siya. So na, kinrap ko na para sa inyo. Ito na yung parts ng basilica. Okay? Ito, yung apse, yung dulo. Yan yung sanctuary. Nandyan yung altar, nandyan yung baldacchino, nandyan yung coro, nandyan yung choir. Yung bema is the stage. Ito yung naka-elevate. Naka-elevate siya dito. Ito yung mistake ko actually. May dalawa akong mistake dun sa HOA Wednesday class ko. Kasi nalito ako dun sa slide. Sorry, i-correct ko na lang sa kanila next week. Or kung may kaibigan kayo sa kanila. Anyway, sige. I-upload ko tong recording natin kasi hindi ko na-upload yung kanila dahil naputol yung connection namin last week at mahina yung audio. So let's just upload this one. So for correction lang, ito yung stage, ito yung elevated platform. Kumbaga, kung saan nagle-lecture or nagmimisa yung pare, siya yung nakaangat, di ba? Usually may 2, 3 hakbang. Yun yung bema. Yung altar is yan yung offertory table or kung nasan yung santo, asan yung mga offering. Minsan, nasa ilalim siya ng baldacchino. Hindi naman lagi, pero may mas madalas nasa ilalim siya ng baldacchino. Tinanong sa akin to nung Wednesday, so para hindi nyo na itanong, yung baldacchino is, meron siyang 4 na poste, tapos meron siya parang bubong. Send ko yung photo sa group chat. Pero if you've been to Baclaran Church, siya yung, well, para siyang bubong. Teka, send ko sa group chat. Open your messengers now. Okay, naka-open na ba yung messenger nyo? Ito yung baldacchino, friends. Para makita nyo siya agad. Yan. So, para siyang bubong, di ba? Meron siya. Ayan yung altar sa ilalim. Gets? Alright, let's move on. Nave is the central aisle. Okay? I will. Hindi pala naka-on yung pointer ko kanina. Sorry. Ulitin ko lang. Yan, habang nandyan na yung pointer ko. Ito yung apps. Ito yung bema. Ito yung apps. Andito yung sanctuary. Kala ko naka-on yung pointer ko, sorry. Tapos, ito yung bema, kung nasan yung pare, naka-elevate siya. Ito yung nave. Ito yung nave. Yan yung central aisle. Yan yung central aisle. Ito yung aisle, yung nasa gilid. Yung dalawang gilid, yan yung aisle. Usually, pag cross yung plano, ito yung transept dito. Siya yung naka-cross. Mamaya meron din tayong plan na may transept. Yung transept, upuan din siya. Di ba yung simbahan, meron parang sa harap ng pare, merong upuan na nakadiretso, meron dito sa dalawang gilid. Yung dalawang gilid na yun is yung transept, mga kaibigan. Alright? So, any questions so far? Raise your hand lang anytime. Wala naman. Sige. So, pag sinabi nating, ano ba yung song na yun? Oh my God, can someone sing the song? I can't wait to smile as she walks down the aisle. Something like that yung lyrics.
Marry your daughter.
O sige, Rodney, dahil sinagot mo, kantahin mo yun
Ah.
live. Sige na. Sige na.
Hindi ko po alam yung title lang po, alam ko.
Sige, mali kasi siya. Mali kasi siya, di ba sabi niya, can't wait to smile. Anyway, hindi pala ako yung kakanta. Sige. So, eto yung nave. Ito yung nave. Dito lumalakad yung bride. My God. If you want it to be architecturally correct, ito yung aisle. Sa gilid mo ba palalakarin yung bride? Diba? So, mali. Pero, para mag-rhyme, para kunwari romantic, para alam mo yun, kasi aisle yung alam natin, hindi yan yung aisle. Ito po yung aisle. Ito po yung nave. Huwag tayo malito. Hindi naman yan lumalabas sa board exam, pero it's important that you know. This is your atrium. Open area siya usually. In the modern sense, or in the modern context, yung atrium is anywhere na open all throughout the open area. Narthex, this is for the penitents. So pag di ka pa pwedeng pumasok, dito ka lang sa narthex. Ito siya. buo siya. Correction on my Wednesday class, kasi I will upload this. Correction on my Wednesday class, I'm sorry, tinanong ko ni John Red. Ito po, buo siya yung narthex. John Red, yung ambulatory is somewhere here. Daanan yung ambulatory sa likod. Ito po yung narthex, John Red. John Red is from my Wednesday class. Since ito kasi i-upload ko para malaman niya. Para alam ko pag di niya pinanood. So, sorry. Yung choir is nandito sa may apps. Yung ambo is yung pulpito. Any questions so far? Pag tinakpan ko ba lahat ng pangalan na yan, masasagot nyo sa exam yan. Kaya nyo yan, huwag kayong mag-alala. Yun nandyan lang yung lalabas. Hindi naman natin kayo pahihirapan. Alright, ito, another plan. This is San Clemente in Rome. Kung binasa nyo rin again yung book, ito rin yun. Ito yung narthex, ito yung atrium, ito yung nave, ito yung aisle. Ito pala yung aisle. Sorry, ito yung apse. Doon lang siya. Kailangan lang familiar kayo. Ito, dalawa yung narthex niya. May exonarthex. Asan na ba yun? Meron ako na dito. Wait. Asan na ba yun? Anyway, later. Ito yung transept na sinasabi ko. Upuan din siya. Upuan din siya. Andito yung bema. Andito yung apse. Andito yung aisle. Ito yung nave. Narthex, atrium. Ito yung sinasabi ko, Irvin, minsan merong mga libingan external, mausoleum or tomb, pero hindi palagi. So, parang sa Manila Cathedral or sa San Agustin Church, may mga nakalibing doon. Actually, lahat ng simbahan may mga nakalibing. Huwag kayo maniniwalang wala. The charot lang. Most of the churches that we have, may mga cemetery before. So, ito section niya, sectional plan niya. Sabi ko kanina, lagi siyang gable roof, lagi siyang dos aguas, or wala tayong makikitang quattro aguas na basilica. Yan. Example, Basilica of St. Peter in Vatican. Ito yung nave, ito yung baldacchino, ayun yung apse, ito yung baldacchino, ang cute oh. Ito yung apse, nasa dulo. Yan. Ito yung plan niya. Maraming plano yung St. Peter's Basilica, hindi lang isa. Marami, tas marami ding addition. Marami ring architect na gumawa sa kanya. Iisa-isahin natin siya along the way. Okay? St. John Lateran Basilica in Rome. Mamaya malalaman niyo kung bakit isa siya sa mga importanteng simbahan. Another example of a plan. Ito, walang label. Ano to? Ano to? Ano to? Ano to? Kaya niyo sagutin yan. Kaya niyo yan, syempre. Huwag niyo sasabihin na hindi niyo kaya. Alright, ito na yung parts isa-isa. This is your apps. Andyan yung definition natin. Semi-circular or polygonal termination sa dulo. Dulo ng nave. Atrium, open space surrounded by a building. This is your example. Bema is the elevated platform containing the altar. Altar is the elevated structure for offerings or where religious articles are placed. Nave, again, yung gitna, yung nave. Yung gilid, yung aisle. Huwag kayo malilito sa kanila. Wait lang. Alright, okay. Narthex, yung nasa labas. Antechamber siya at the porch or porch at the entrance of a church. Mausoleum, again, Irvin, ito siya. Pwedeng freestanding siya or pwedeng wala namang structure talaga kasi libingan lang. Yung mausoleum will be a structure definitely. So pag walang structure, libingan lang siya, cemetery grounds lang siya. Okay. Usually, yung plano natin sa basilica ay cruciform or cross dahil nga nagpo-cross si nave tsaka si transept. Yun yung naging usual plan ng mga churches and basilica. And one important part sa isang basilica ay itong tinatawag nating baptistery. Bakit kaya? May hula ba kayo? Bakit importante siya? Guys, basahin nyo lang yung slide. Nandun yung sagot. Sige na. So, eto na. Isa siya sa mga importanteng structure natin during the early Christian period of architecture. Kasi at this time, Christianity is spreading throughout the world. Ano ka ba magiging member? Hindi naman siya SNR na bibili ka lang ng card for membership, di ba? Hindi naman siya membership shopping, di ba? Nabibili ka lang ng card or SM Advantage card, meron ka na, member ka na. Hindi. binabaptize yung mga tao. Kailangan ng baptistery, kailangan ng separate structure. Ano ba siya? It's usually an external structure, madalas din octagonal siya in plan, and this is where baptism takes place. Tatandaan, importante siya kasi dito sila binibinyagan. So para dumami sila, kailangan silang lumubog dun sa tubig. Hindi naman sila like gremlin na pag nabasa ay dadami. So, yan siya. Yan yung reason bakit kailangan natin ng baptistry or bakit naging important structure siya during the early Christian period. Dapat review nyo na lang to. HOA1 to. Anyway, sige, moving on. May question ba kayo so far bago tayo mag-move on? Wala pa so far nag-raise ng hand. Alright. Sige. John read from my Wednesday class. If you're listening, if you're going to watch this is your ambulatory. This is your ambulatory. This is your apps. This is your transept. This is your nave. This is your aisle, side aisles. This is your narthex. So yun, para maliwanag, ayan yung plano ng mga early Christian basilica. Yan yung parang naging template nila. It doesn't have to be exactly like that, pero dyan siya nakapattern. Kumbaga, i-layout lang nila gano'ng kalaki or what, gano'ng kahaba, pero in the essence, ganito yung nagiging itsura nilang lahat. You can try checking out for yourselves. Google kayo ng plan ng basilica or kahit ng modern day church, mostly ganito makikita yung itsura. Yan. Ngayon, para naman hindi tayo, or para naman hindi alam, para alam natin. In the modern sense or in the canonical sense of the word basilica, ang basilica is the highest permanent designation for a church building given by the Vatican. There are only 4 major basilicas. All other basilicas are minor basilica. Paano ba siya nagiging major basilica? Kailangan papal basilica siya or major basilicas are papal basilicas. Ito yung mga 4 ancient Roman churches. Kailangan tumuloy dito si Pope at one point of history para maituring natin siyang major basilica. Alright? 4 lang siya, hindi ko nilista, but I'd like you to take note. It's St. John of Lateran. Kanina napakita ko siya. It's St. Peter's Church in Vatican. Napakita ko din siya kanina. These 2 ay hindi ko napakita. St. Paul outside the walls and Santa Maria Maggiore. Nasulat nyo, hindi? Kahit huwag nyo na isulat sa chat ko na lang kayo. Nakahiya naman sa inyo. Na-joke lang. So, eto na. Minor basilicas are recognized due to their special historical, cultural, and architectural significance. Example ng architectural significance. Si Saint, sorry, hindi pala siya Saint. Anong basilica ba yung nasa Menjola? Let's see. Ito, unang-una pala. Wait. Unang-una, we have 21 minor basilicas in the Philippines. Unang-una is si San Sebastian Church. Now, San Sebastian Church is in Menjola. In Manila. San Sebastian Church is the first all-steel church in Asia. Makikita niyo yan sa HOA nyo, guys. Pero you can Google it now. Pero ito yung listahan lang. Para alam nyo, medyo maliit siya sa PowerPoint natin. So, I will send the list sa group chat. I'm sending the list now. Yan, the list is there. You can zoom it in, zoom it out. Ito yung listahan ng mga minor basilicas in the Philippines. Para lang alam nyo in case nagpunta kayo sa isang lugar, gusto nyo magyabang sa ibang friends nyo, uy, alam nyo ba, minor basilica to? Paano mo nalaman? Tinuro sa amin sa HOA2. Diba? Anyway, may question ba kayo so far? Walang nag-raise ng hand. Let's move on. This is your recap. Important structures, basilica and baptistry. The early Christian basilicas were patterned after Roman basilicas. Take note, Roman basilicas are civic building. They're not religious building. They're not even meant for worship before. Pero since, ay hindi ko pala naitanong sa inyo, bakit nga pala basilica ang pinili nila? Anong tingin yung dahilan? Bakit kaya basilica? Yung napili nila sa dami-dami ng building. Nandyan yung agora, nandyan yung mga therme. Bakit kaya basilica yung napili nila? Walang may sagot? Walang gusto manghula? Try nyo lang manghula. Baka tama. Sige, let's try. Justin. Jasmine. Paano i-pronounce? Sorry. Justin or Jasmine?
Jasmine po.
Sige, Lay na lang. Lay, bakit kaya tingin mo Basilica yung napili nilang i-adopt? Sa dami ng building during the Roman period, bakit kaya Basilica napili nilang i-adopt? Any hula? Any idea? Any wild guess?
Wala po.
Okay lang yan, at least honest tayo. Baka yung iba may guess. Hula, bakit Basilica? Walang may hula. Asa na ba yung class president nyo? Baka may hula siya. Si John Amor. John, are you still with us? Or wala ka na din? Wala din siya. Ito bang mga naka-off cam na to ay nakikinig sa atin? Let's try. Sige. Carlo, sulit. Good afternoon. Carlo. Yan. Kaya ayoko kayo naka-off cam, nawawala kayo. Bahala kayo, kayo din nawawalan. Tony, are you still with us? Si Tony pala ay walang mic. Yun, may nag-raise hand. Vivian, good afternoon.
Good
Bakit?
afternoon po.
Ano hula?
Ma'am, kasi po 'di ba public place po yung Basilica? Para po siguro hindi mahalata ng mga ano na for gathering po siya ng ano, for worship po. Tsaka po ano, since madaming tao doon, marami po silang pwedeng mag-gather na tao.
Well, that's probably one reason. Pwede. Public place nga siya. Pero hindi ba naisip, public place siya, baka mahuli kami. Baka may magsumbong.
Feeling ko po ma'am, hindi po mahahalata since di po nila pagdududahan na ano, nag-gather sila for worship.
Well, that's one. That could probably be it kasi hindi naman natin alam exactly kung bakit. Yervin, bakit kaya?
For me, ma'am, bago siya naging ano, ma'am, naging civic church, ma'am, isa siyang business transaction, parang ganun, mga legal matters po.
Well, oo, business transactions, yes, pero hindi siya totally yung bentahan, ha? We have the agora for that. We have the market. Tsaka when we say civic building, it means government building or for the public building, hindi siya religious building. So civic and church, they don't go together. Sige na. I think, personally, based din sa mga nabasa ko, research and all, napili si Roman Basilica because of the reason na malaking open space siya. Walang restriction. Jasmine could be right na dahil maraming tao, marami tayong pwedeng i-recruit. Ay, sorry, was it Jasmine na nag-recite or is it Vivian? Vivian pala, sorry. So Vivian could be right na baka maraming tao, marami tayong i-recruit, di ba? Gusto natin marami tayo agad. So anyway, yun yung reason natin, most likely reason natin. Okay, important parts. You know this already. Atrium, narthex, nave, and side aisles, bema, and apse. If I ask you now, I think you can answer me. So, any questions so far before we move on? Questions, answers? Wow. Question, comments, suggestion, violent reaction? Wala. Okay. Now, we move on to Byzantine architecture. Why do you call, what do you remember about Byzantine architecture in your HOA1? Anyone? Kahit konti. Konti lang. Wala tayong naaalala. O sige, ito na lang. Bakit kaya Byzantine yung pangalan niya? Hi, Jessica. Good afternoon. Jessica nag-raise ng hand. Jessica Suniga. May gustong sabihin? Or napindot mo lang?
Yung tanong lang po kanina kung bakit, ano po yung naalala lang sa Byzantine.
Sige na nga, yun na lang. Sige na, namili ka na ng tanong.
Nalate po ako
Oh,
nung,
ano naalala mo?
ay yung sa Byzantine, ano po, karamihan po sa plan ng mga churches po is ano, circular po.
Bakit kaya? Bakit kaya? Sinagot ba natin yung bakit or sinagot ba ng prof niyo kung bakit? Dami ko rin tanong dyan kung bakit pero hindi ako sinagot eh. Bakit kaya, Jessica? May idea? Wala. Nawala na si Jessica. Anyway, sasagutin natin yan later. Pero for now, thank you, Jessica. Pero for now, let's ask, bakit Byzantine yung tawag sa kanya? Is a Byzantine? What does it even mean? No idea. Ha?
Opo.
Yes, Daniel.
Ano po siya? Sa Byzantine Empire po. Kasi po, nung time po na yan, nahati po yung Roman Empire. Western tas Eastern.
Galing.
Tapos, ayun po,
Hmm.
tas yung capital po nila sa Byzantine Constantinople. Tapos
Alright.
sa Eastern po yung, sa Western po yung Rome.
Alright. Tama naman. Okay, tama naman. At that time, Emperor Constantine, kaya siya Constantinople. Emperor Constantine, he wanted to have a new Roman capital. And he chose this area. Bakit? Ito siya sa mapa, friends. Yan siya sa mapa. It's a strait leading to the Mediterranean Sea na naging trade point ng West at East. Dito tayo nagtitrade ng kalakal with our Asian friends. Kunwari taga-Rome, no? With our Asian friends. Alright, ba't siya tinawag na Byzantine? Well, it's derived from the word Byzantium. So Byzantium is an ancient Greek colony named after the man who founded the area or the colony or yung mismong city ng Byzantium. His name is Bizas. Alright, nandun siya sa strait connecting the Black Sea to the Mediterranean Sea. Transit point siya, entry point siya from Asia. Ito Asia mga kaibigan, ang laki to Europe. So, dito masasagot natin yung dahilan, Jessica. Bakit kaya circular or polygonal yung plans ng mga cathedral ng mga churches during the Byzantine era? Hindi ko sure kung tama ako. Hindi ko sinasabing tama ako. Hindi ko rin to natanong sa mga prof ko. Pero based on what I've read, based on what I've researched, I'm inclined to conclude na, or just for myself, dahil nga naging trade point siya ng East and West, ng Asia and Europe, nasama yung mga practices from Asia. Anong itsura ng Chinese pagoda? Anong itsura ng Japanese pagoda? Anong itsura ng Korean temple? Lahat sila, di ba, minsan square, octagonal for other, I think Japanese octagonal, I'm not sure. Pero, di ba, hindi kasi cross-plan sa Asia. Lagi siyang polygonal. I'm not sure kung may HOA3 kayo. Meron pa ba kayong HOA3? To discuss East Asian architecture? Or wala na? Sige, i-review ko yung yung curriculum plan. Anyway, dahil nga naging trade point siya, mga kaibigan, pag nagtitrade kasi tayo, hindi lang goods yung natitrade eh. Even knowledge, even practices, even yung, kung ano yung folk kwento sa kabila, kwento dito sa kabila. So, nagkakaroon ng ganong interaction. Human-to-human interaction. Kaya na-adapt yung practices ng isa't isa. Alright? Question so far? Comments, suggestions? Mabilis ba tayo masyado? Or nakakasunod tayong lahat? Yes, nakakasunod tayong lahat. Alright, thank you. So siya, tama yung sinabi ni Daniel kanina. We have the Eastern and the Western Empire. Where is Constantinople? This is Constantinople. This one, this area here. Yan. Alright, so gets natin? Gets natin. Okay, this is your summary or brief summary of our discussion. Circular or polygonal plan for churches and baptisteries. Of course, baptisteries were always octagonal. Masonry construction is more dominant with round arches and domes carried by pendentives. Emergence of the dosseret blocks. Extensive use of frescoes or yung mga murals. Colored glass mosaics for interiors. Orientation now, facade faces west. Asa na yung facade natin? Nasa west na siya. Ibig sabihin, yung entrance natin ngayon nalipat na siya sa west. I think ang reason behind that is yung sunrise naman nasa east. So yung apse, yung altar nasa likod naman. Siya naman yung nasa east. So pag tumama yung ilaw, imagine meron kang mosaico, may glass mosaic ka, may stained glass ka. Yung pagpasok ng ilaw from the back ng altar, kung ako yung nag-officiate ng mass, ito yung mga tao sa unahan ko, papunta sa kanila yung ilaw. Diba? So, Byzantine churches are more light in terms of lighting, in terms of ilaw, atmosphere, mas nag-put emphasis na sila ngayon sa interior, sa pegs, sa ano yung overall feel ng church. Kasi di ba, during the early Christian time, ang gusto lang nila is magkaroon sila ng place of worship. From house churches, nagkaroon sila ng basilica. Ngayon, Byzantine era na, and Constantine was already a Christian, and he's converting a lot of people. A lot of people were following him. So, ando na yung intention nila na mas maganda na yung churches natin. Okay? Does anyone remember what a pendentive is or what is a dosseret block? Pendentive, dosseret block. Sige, hanapin nyo sa internet, sa mga libro nyo. Walang nakakaalala. Claire, do you remember? Pendentive and dosseret block?
No po, ma'am.
Sige, thank you for your honesty. Hindi tayo maninisi na hindi na natin matandaan. Kasi nung ako din, HOA2, ang naaalala ko na lang sa HOA1, pyramid na lang. Diba? At least yung pyramid, Claire, natatandaan natin. 3 pyramid yun, ha? Huwag natin kakalimutan. Anyway, si dosseret block at si pendentive, ito yung pinakamalaking ambag sa atin ng Byzantine architecture. Unahin na natin si dosseret block. May hula na ba kung ano yung block? Wala. Sige. Dahil hindi natin alam, sabay-sabay nating alamin. This is a dosseret block. Kung inopen nyo again yung libro na sinend ko, ito siya, hello. So, ito yung column. You can see, ito yung column. Ito yung kanyang capital. Ito yung column capital niya. Diba? Sa Egyptian, meron tayong lotus capital, papyrus, etc. etc. Hindi ko na matandaan lahat. Sa Greek, meron tayong iba-ibang order ng capitals, di ba? Do you remember the Greek orders? Sige nga, let's try. Let's try dun sa mga naka-off cam if they remember their Greek orders. Okay, nag-on cam sila. Sige, let's try. Austin, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Do you still remember your Greek capitals?
Ma'am, hindi na po.
Hindi na din, ma'am. Okay, sige. Okay lang yan, Austin. Kalma lang tayo. Si Irvin yata alam. Irvin, ano yun?
Ma'am, yung mga columns po ba?
Yung column capitals. Ano siya?
Yung mga Corinthian po, tapos Doric.
Ano yung tatlo?
Ayun po, ma'am. Doric, Corinthian, tapos letter I po yung isa. I forgot.
Ionic.
Ionic.
Ionic. And we have the Roman capitals as well. Diba? Meron tayong Roman capitals as well. Tatandaan, hindi. Sige, assignment yun. Hanapin nyo yan. Ionic, Doric, and Corinthian. Yan yung Greek orders natin. For the Roman ones, I think we have the Tuscan and the composite columns. Column capitals rather, hindi column. Okay, eto naman, yung column capitals ng Byzantine era, the basket capital, and the trapezoidal capital. Ngayon, ano yung dosseret block? The dosseret block is a thickened abacus or supplementary capital set above a column capital to receive the thrust of an arc. Also called a pulvin, imposed block, or super capital. Mga kaibigan, ito siya. Nasa itaas siya ng column capital. Siya ang nagdadala ng bigat ng arc. Siya ang tumatanggap ng bigat ng arc. Possibly because ayaw nilang masira to dahil nga more on the aesthetic na sila at this point in time, di ba? Alright, we understand what a doceret block is? Alright, moving on. This is an example, Basilica de San Vitale in Ravenna. Anong mapapansin? Hindi na cross yung plan. Polygonal na yung plan. More on masonry construction din siya. Bato. Batong-bato siya. Ito yung kanyang plano. Meron pa rin siyang apps. Meron pa rin siyang bema. Meron pa rin siyang narthex. Meron lang mga nawala kasi wala na siyang aisle. Lahat nakaupo na lang sila sa gilid. So moving forward, this is another example. Constantinople Church, dito natin makikita yung pendentive naman. Kung titignan nyo, to square yung plano niya. Square yung plano niya, yung main plano niya, tapos naglagay siya ng dome. Ang iniisip siguro ni Constantine at that time is, pagsamahin ko kaya, ano ay itsura? Diba? So, paano mo ito-terminate yung square? Paano mo ito-terminate yung square sa circle? Paano siya i-connect? So, para malaman natin kung i-connect siya, para malaman natin na naka-connect siya, wait. This is your pendentive. Yung triangular dyan, or your pendentive. Okay? Okay, going back. This is Hagia Sophia. Hagia Sophia is technically our prime example for a Byzantine church. It literally means sacred wisdom. It's designed by two architects, si Antemuos of Tralles and Isidorus of Miletus. The interiors were rich colored marbles. Ito yung kanyang floor plan. Ito yung parts ng Hagia Sophia. You can read on it on your own. And then, ito nga yung sinasabi ko, ito yung pendentives. Para i-connect yung dome sa square base, we use pendentives. Para sa mga onion domes or yung mga bulbous domes, we have the squinches. Okay? Bakit natin importanteng malaman to? History na to, tapos na to. Aba, pag magde-design tayo mga kaibigan, nakaka-apekto to, especially if we're designing a church. And structurally, we get something from them. Diba? We get the arc, we get the domes, we get the pendentive, we get the doceret block. So may ambag sila sa modern day designing natin. Okay? Si Hagia Sophia, along the way, naging mosque siya. So dinagdagan siya ng 4 na minarets. Ito yung minarets, yung 4. Ito, yung matataas na parang obelisk sa labas para maging Islamic yung feel niya. Nilagay ng mimbar at mirab, yung tinatayuan ng, anong tawag din sa nagle-lecture? Imam ba? Sorry. And then we have the calligraphic discs, this one. And then, tinakpan nila yung mga mosaic, yung mga murals, tinakpan nila. So that's Hagia Sophia for you. Hagia Sophia right now is a museum. Okay? Another example, we have the St. Mark's Basilica. That's your St. Mark's and that's your plan. It's now, hindi na siya, technically medyo cross-looking siya pero it's more squarish. But still, may apps pa rin tayo dito. Now, a recap. So, Byzantine era gave us what? The doceret blocks, the pendentive, polygonal plans, the dome, and masonry construction. Nasagot ba natin yung guide questions natin kanina sa una? Bakit tawag natin is early Christian? Bakit tawag natin is Byzantine? Ang hindi natin nasagot, ano yung difference ng dalawa? Can anyone answer kung ano yung difference nilang dalawa? Anyone? 2 participants raise hand. Sino yung nauna? Mary Claire. Good afternoon. Difference.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ano po, yung napansin ko po, yung sa early Christian po, yung facade po nila naka-face sa east, tapos sa Byzantine naman po, sa west po naka-face.
Bakit?
Kasi po, parang yung sa Byzantine po, priority po nila yung yung aesthetic po. Tapos sa early Christian, parang for room lang po, for worship.
Alright. Claire, thank you. But don't forget, malaking factor yung ilaw, yung sunrise. Diba? Sunrise is now in the east, so nakaharap na sa tao yung liwanag. mas light na yung feeling sa Byzantine churches. Always remember, keyword, light.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Claire. May isa pang naka-raise hand kanina but I did not see. Sino yun? May naka-raise hand kanina, I
Ako
did
po,
not
ma'am.
see. Hi, Irvin. What's the difference?
Yes po. Nasabi na po ni Mary Claire po, pero may isa pa po. Yung sa
Go.
plan po,
Hmm.
yung cross sa is early Christian, while sa Byzantine po is yung circular or and polygonal po.
Very unique, di ba? Si Byzantine, very unique. Siya lang yata yung polygonal ang plan ng churches. But we'll know in the future kasi marami pa tayong pag-uusapan. Meron pang question, mga kaibigan? Bago tayo mag-move forward. Masyadong mabilis yung lecture natin. Nasundan ba nating lahat? Yes. Pag hindi nasundan, you can always ask. Kung masyadong mabilis, sabihin nyo, ma'am, dahan-dahan po. Kasi I received na masyado daw ako mabilis din sa isang class. So, may question ba tayo so far? Anong main takeaway natin sa discussion natin today? Sige, let's move on. Nasagot natin yung tatlong guide question. Yan. We have 3 more questions to answer. Actually, nasagot na natin yung number 2. Okay. Number 1, what are the innovations of each period? Can anyone tell us or anyone tell the class ano yung innovation or ano yung dapat nating tandaan na pag nakita natin, early Christian, Byzantine to, di ba? Anyone? Anyone? Pag wala, hanap tayo ng naka-off cam. Ayan, isa-isa na naman bumubukas ang camera nila. Ang galing guys Sige. Takumi, good afternoon.
Hello po.
Yo.
Sa tingin ko po yung ano din po, yung light management po. Parang yung paggamit po ng natural lighting.
Yan ang question natin. Ang question natin, Takumi, is ano yung innovation per period? So, ano yung masasabi mo pag nakita mo, this is an early Christian basilica. This is a Byzantine church. Wala, Takumi?
Wait lang po.
Sige, let's call someone else muna. Sa mga naka-off cam. Babalikan kita, huwag ka mag-alala. Alfred Benedict Morales. Good afternoon, Sir Alfred. Wala kang camera, sir? Ayaw pakita ang kanyang beautiful face. Alright. Alfred, number 1, what are the innovations of each period?
Pagka sinabi ko Byzantine, I think yung pag ng plan, makikita po kasi natin sa Byzantine, meron po siyang parang equal po lahat ng side, pagkaka-cross niya. Then kapag naman,
sorry Alfred, nagpuputol-putol yung line mo? Or baka sa akin lang?
wait lang po, try ko naman.
Yun. Yes, Sir Alfred.
Hello po.
Yes, hello.
Hello pa rin po.
Yan, better.
I think yung Byzantine,
wait, sorry, putol pa rin talaga, friend. Gusto mo bang i-type na lang at babasahin ko na lang siya for you?
Sige.
Sorry. Sige, habang pinatype mo, babalikan ko si Takumi. Takumi, may naisip ka na. Nawala na siya.
Wala pa po.
Sige. Take your time. Pag hindi umabot sa alas 5 or sa alas 6 pala, sorry. Pag hindi umabot sa alas 6, i-message mo yan. Sige. Moving on. Sino pa ba? Wala talagang gustong sumagot. Last na. Bago sumagot si Takumi. Let's try. Giniela. Afternoon, Giniela. Turn on your mic.
Good afternoon po.
Good afternoon. Anong tingin mo innovations or important innovation or important na impart ng bawat period? What can you say na ito yung early Christian, ito ay Byzantine? Nawala din si Jeniela. Ayaw niyo bang tulungan? Yes? Nawala din si Jeniela. Friends, ba gusto niyong tulungan si Jeniela? Let's try. Janela. Para malapit sa Jeniela. Janela, good afternoon.
Good afternoon po, ma'am.
Hi, good afternoon.
Ma'am, po, yung sa pinaka-entrance din po, which is yung sa may Byzantine po, is sa west po siya nakaharap. Tapos yung entrance po sa may early Christian is sa east po.
Well, we're asking kung ano yung innovation nila. I'll give an example. One important innovation of the Byzantine era is the Dosseret block. That's one important na iniwan sa atin ng Byzantine era. Meron pa ba?
Mayroon lala po ulit nga po. Di ko po marinig ba dahil na pag internet ko po dito umuulan po.
Ay, hindi mo marinig. Okay lang, Janela, naka-record. Hindi naman natin inaasahan na lahat tayo maayos ang internet, lalo na't maulan. Naka-record naman. You can always tell me that. Sige, Takumi, chat mo na lang yan. And then, sino pa yung isang mag-chat sa akin ang sagot nila? Si Takumi, si one more. God, nasaan siya? Nawala na siya. Nawala na siya. Irvin, raise your hand. Yes, sir. Why?
Ma'am, yung sa tingin kong innovation po ng Byzantine is yung dome and vault. Eh yung napapansin ko po sa kanila.
Yung dome?
Parang, yes po.
Technically, sa Byzantine Byzantine era, siya yung earliest na may record ng dome. Pero hindi natin alam, baka yung iba meron din silang record. Remember, pag lipat natin ng Renaissance, lalabas si Florence Cathedral with the big bulbous dome. Si St. Peter's may dome din. Diba? Anyway, we'll learn along the way. So, anong major takeaway natin dito? What affects our modern day designs as architects? Anyone? In your opinion, walang tama, walang maling sagot. Meron lang maganda at pangit na sagot. So, the joke lang. Walang tama or maling sagot. What is it, in your opinion, na nakaka-apekto sa pag-design natin as architects? Balikan natin yan mamaya. Balikan natin yan mamaya. Ay, hindi. Wala na pala. Wala na pala tayong babalikan. Last slide na pala yung susunod. So, anong major takeaway natin? Anong major takeaway natin sa discussion? Ang lagi nyo dapat tandaan is that si early Christian, bawal na bawal na bawal mag-practice ng faith. They were persecuted for their faith. They were being hunted. They were being searched for. They're being killed. Probably killed. Diba? We're not sure. Ilan yung namatay. They had to hide. They had to hide, and eventually, during the time of Constantine din siguro, hindi natin alam for sure the exact time, people were brave enough to go out. Then they used the early Roman basilicas to serve as their place of worship. They converted the Roman basilicas into early Christian churches, into early Christian basilicas. You have to remember as well, we have two types of basilica or two classifications, the major and the minor basilica. There are only 4 major basilicas in the world, and there are 21 minor basilicas in the Philippines as of today. Madadagdagan yan kasi nung nag-board exam ako, 13 lang yan o 12. And that was just in 2016. Ano lang ngayon, 2022 lang. So, dumami na siya. It's now 21. So, that's one way that one thing that we have to remember for early Christian, for basilicas in the modern sense. For Byzantine period, always remember light, Dosseret blocks. Sa Byzantine era din nagpalit ng orientation. Your Roman churches or your Roman temples, your Greek temples, they were also all facing the west before. Correct? Correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of them were facing the west. Byzantine era, dito nagsimula mapalitan yung orientation into into west pala rather. And then, Byzantine era architecture gave you the Dosseret block. It gave you the pendentive, the squinches, it gave you your masonry construction na mas rampant. Hindi sa kanya nagsimula pero mas rampant, mas evident yung paggamit nila at that time. Saan nagsimula yung masonry construction, if you remember? Sino naka-discover ng concrete? Pozzolana. Sino naka-discover ng pozzolana? You remember from your HOA1? Sino
Roman po.
Roman. Sino yun? Raise ka ng hand para ma-acknowledge kita. Sayang recitation grade. Sino ka? Daniel. Yes, Daniel. It was the Romans who
Ako po yung
invented
nagsabing Roman po.
or
Pozzolana.
discovered. It was the Romans who invented and discovered the pozzolana. Or, in modern day term, concrete. Sige, may questions ba tayo so far? Questions, comments, clarification, violent reaction, gusto niyo bang magalit at magwala? Or naintindihan ba natin yung lecture for today? Yes, thumbs up naman kung naintindihan natin yung lecture for the day para alam ko kung ilan yung nakaintindi at ilan yung hindi nakaintindi. Everyone naka-thumbs up naman. So ina-assume ko, ina-expect ko na pag nag-exam tayo, masasagot niyo lahat to. Tatanggalin ko yung parts ng ng basilica and figure out niya siya. Sige, so for next week, prepare ha. Magbasa na tayo magbasa na tayo about Romanesque architecture and be prepared to answer the same questions. What is meant by Romanesque architecture? Is this the same as Roman architecture? And what are the prominent structures that are built on this era? So questions, comments, suggestions so far before we end. May nag-chat. Oh my God, may nag-chat. Hindi ko napansin, friend. Sorry. Si Alfred. One innovation po na napansin ko when it comes sa yung pagiging cross when it comes po sa plan ng Byzantine. Sorry Alfred, I have to correct you there ha. Byzantine is more of circular and polygonal plans. At the same time, yung cross plan natin is nasa early Christian basilicas ha. Just so it's clear to everyone, pag may hindi clear, you message me or you message the chat, group chat, or you raise your hand now for questions, comments, before we end our discussion. Anyone with any comments or questions? John Irvin, raise his hand. Yes, sir.
Question lang po, sa Byzantine po is mixture po siya ng Greek at Roman po.
Technically, hindi. It's more Roman. Anong element ng Greek architecture ang nakita mo sa Byzantine? Wala. Hindi.
Sorry,
Hindi,
ma'am,
actually,
sorry.
friend,
Nalito lang ako ng
si Roman and si Greek architecture naman, they're a little bit similar. Iba-iba lang yung types. Let's say, the column capitals, di ba? Naisip nila na may column capitals dapat. And from the early Egyptian, hindi naman sila nag-uusap-usap. Pero structurally, they were able to think about that. Di ba? So, hindi siya mix ng Greek and Roman. Sorry, Irvin, hindi siya ganon. Later on, si Romanesque architecture, mixture ng maraming architecture yan. But you have to read on that kasi next week, tatanungin ko kayo about that before we start the lecture. Anyway, any questions so far? Sino pa ba itong mga nandito? May question ka ba, John Rodney? No question? Naintindihan today, sir? Pag nag-exam, nag-board exam, perfect ang HOA? Yan, confidence. Pag yan abangan ko yung mga board exam scores niyo. Meron pa bang any question so far? May nag-chat. Yes, okay lang yan. Okay lang ma-confuse, basta bago mag-exam dapat maliwanag sa atin lahat ha. Okay lang na for now na lilito tayo kasi medyo bago yung topics. Ako din naman nalilito minsan, nalitong ako last Wednesday. So, I'll give you the copy of the slides and then I'll give you some reading materials probably tomorrow and I'll give you your advanced reading task. Actually, nabigay ko na pala. You should read on your Romanesque architecture kasi siya yung next topic natin. So, aside from that, we already checked the attendance sheet or yung class list natin. We don't have anything else. So, I think that's about it. I'll see you guys next week. Pag may questions. Ay, sorry. Before we end, may isasend akong link sa inyo. I need you to fill out a little bit to help me. Kasi I'm asking the other class din anong suggestion nila. Ngayon, some others are not just comfortable or hindi lang masyadong nahihiya magsalita. Like last week, mahina pala yung audio ko during the Wednesday class. It's fine. Para ma-improve natin along the way yung mga nakikita nating kulang. So you just fill it out para alam natin kung paano tayo mag-a-adjust so everyone gets a little bit of learning. Okay, alright. Wala tayong plates, guys. Maraming salamat for this afternoon. And have a happy rest of your weekend. Good luck and goodbye.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you.
Bye, ma'am.
Thank you po.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you po.
Bye.